Alright. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 394. We're here reviewing episodes 8 through 11 of Kyoryuger. Now, I initially had planned to stop at episode 10 because 10 was the conclusion of the arc, but I kind of included 11 because 11 is the epilogue for this arc. This is the Kyoryu Gold arc. This is basically his debut and him joining the roster, and basically we see him. So, 8 is more like the start of this thing. So, it's not focused on gold per se, it's more focused on blue. Where Nelson, he basically takes... His sister wins tickets to, parent-child day at a park. He does apologize to the person who gave him the tickets that basically he's not the father of the little girl, he is basically the uncle. But as an appreciation, for being honest, he get a free ticket to his rides. Okay. But Rika is not upset. Nope, she's not upset about this because basically she's got an amazing uncle. And, this is kind of weird. So, and then, during the park, at one point she's a little bit alone by herself. And then she sees her father. Which, okay, those of you curious, where is her father if the mother is the sister of Kira Blue? Well, they explain he died in an accident prior to the events of the series, and basically Nelson has been taking care of his sister and his niece since then. Well, taking care of them, and being, of course she thinks, or the mother thinks, that he makes a good father for her, but technically he's basically her uncle. And she's not stupid. And she points out how strong she is. She's a very important character. I gotta admit, basically, for a character who's technically a child actor, she acts like a child. Well, basically, she acts her age. She's not, overbearing. She's not terrible. Yeah, she does play a supporting role in this episode, but she's not let's say, let's put in, it's not like they cast a terrible actress to play her. I think whoever casted her must have had the same idea with this character they did with the character from Abba Ranger. With all his cast the illusions, and of course this was the first episode, I think, to have most of the Davos Army commanders in the field, pretty much all of them. And it's a very interesting episode that we do see the evil pterodactyl Zord. We see that in the episode. We briefly see Kira Gold's form as a cameo. We don't see him per se until our next episode, a flashback. So, the very next episode, we explain who Kira Gold is. His real name is Orochiro, I think that's how you pronounce his name, where he was a swordsman from the Warring States period. Now, those that might be asking, how different is this from Sir Ivar of Xandar from Downcharge? Well, the only thing these two have in common, aside from both being Gold Rangers for their respective teams, and, being kind of swordsmen, they're from their time periods are from the past. They're basically the biggest thing in common, aside from the fact that they share the same ranger suit, is they're both men at a time. Except Sir Ivar is a knight from the Dark Ages, where that's basically Europe, and Xandar is a fictional country. And fun fact, Xandar, the country where Sir Ivar is from, and where Prince Philip III is from, who is from Downcharge, is named after, I'm going to cover Uchi because they've heard of that in the next episode. It's named after his signature move, which, good on the part, basically, for Downcharge for doing that, because that was one thing I heard that they got a lot of praise for, was the fact that was the first Sentai series I could think of that I heard of where it paid a lot of respect to source material. It basically didn't disrespect it. It was probably a way of Judge Chip Lin basically realizing, Zacker's way of basically happened with Samurai and Megaforce probably is not to go the way how you adapt the source material. Here is basically a lot more respect for the source material than it was for that one. I would say this is probably the first one to been like this, where it's actually acceptable since SPD. And that was from a decade prior to this one. And those of you curious, has Down Charge ever met... Well, has basically, in the Sentai, has Kyoryuger ever met Deca Ranger? The answer is no. They have never met them. Will they meet Abba Ranger? We'll see. Because it's going to be quite interesting to discuss that movie. So, it's also discovered at the end of episode 9. Like, during episode 9, Degro, he's basically Fury's counterpart in this one, he is discovered his mask starts his face starts breaking. And you're wondering, why the heck is his face breaking? Is it obvious because the guy in the suit? No. Well, in a way, yes. So it turns out that Degro is actually his armor, a hustless armor, who is sentient. And that's the reason why he acts the way he does. Like, and it turns out that Kyoryuger was actually inside of him all along. It was assumed the man died. At first, when he found Torin, he didn't know who he is. And then, like, right next episode, oh, he does remember who he is. It's like, did we not have the same writer for the same 2 episodes? I thought that was kind of weird. Also, they captured Amy and Sanji. Like, okay. Yeah, it's a... And then, of course, basically, so, in order to free him, so Amy decided to summon Ramirez. Yes, first time we've seen him since, like, episode 6. Which, I find that interesting, though he's here mostly in his Kyoryuger Saiyan form. We definitely hear his voice, definitely, but we don't see him in person until the next episode. So thanks to him and Torin, basically he's free from his being held inside the armor. He basically morphs, he destroys the creatures, grunts, and he basically walks away. Also, he proceeds also to use his own Zord, which gets rid of all the darkness stuff that basically is on for the last few episodes. Which, remember, Down Charge, this was actually really quickly, like, within, like, an episode. This whole thing lasted for, like, 2 episodes. It's lasted, like, very quickly. And then, very next episode, turns out his whole strictness that he does is all an act. The guy is very shy. Especially where, basically, the whole thing with, like, episode 11 is, like, okay, so it's Coretta's turn, and her monster pulls out spines. Well, not whole spines, per se, mostly pieces of it. Like, one piece. And they use that to brainwash people. I'm like, that's interesting. I thought it was the weakest part of the episode, but the best part of the episode was Amy going after... Well, she named Uchi anyways in the episode. Basically, she finds out the whole thing of him acting the way he does is actually all an act. In fact, he's very shy. She kind of teaches him how to act in modern day because the way he talks is a bit old-fashioned. She also proceeds to give him new clothing. Yeah, the Warren State stuff he basically debuted in the previous episode. It's gone. Complete. I think the only thing left is probably his sword. They do... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I looked up online. Apparently, Sanji's dad is played by Gogo Fee's black actor. Yes. I'm like, I didn't initially recognize him because it's been since it's been, like, I think it's been like a couple years since I've seen Gogo V. And I'm kind of surprised that he's here. Though he played 2 Black Rangers in a row. Both in Gogo V and in Dynaman. And he's back here playing the father of a ranger. Now, not the first time we have an 80s actor come back to play a parent of a ranger. We also had this in Bokenger, where, get this, Mega Pink came back to play Boken Silver's mom. I'm like, that's interesting. Yes. And his father is played by Spaceship Shriven himself. And this also happened to Gekki Ranger. We have Kenji Hoba, aka Spaceship Gavin, Bao Kenya, and Denji and Denzi Blue playing the father of Red Ranger. This does happen, but it does not happen all the time. I do appreciate when these actors come back to play parents of the Rangers they have. Now, in the case of Sanji's father, like, he only appeared briefly. He only appeared just in episode 3. He returns in episode 10. He basically gives a little detail about Uchi's backstory, which he does know about him. He's very familiar with him. And after this one episode, he's not seen again until episode 43. So he's gone for a long time. And if I remember correctly, they actually, if I remember correctly about this character, like, we didn't see Dino Charge Green's father in the show. We saw his brother. We did not see his father. And it seems like he was like a chef/farmer in the show, which, and him finding Aaron Gem basically was complete random. Like, oh, okay, I'll pick this up because basically I'm a good swordsman, kind of. Here, basically, it's like he's recruited. And his father, I know initially at first that he was basically Kyoryuger Green, till basically he morphed right in front of him. So, we even had the first team-up battle between two kind of like two Megazords in a way. Excuse me, between the Bone Monster. And I love how basically his morpher is like the same one he has in Dino Charge, which gotta appreciate Saban not changing the guy's morpher. I mean, yes, Jungle Fury basically did change the morphers from Genki Ranger to Jungle Fury, where in Genki Ranger it was 2 gauntlet gloves. In Jungle Fury it was sunglasses, which I've heard this got a lot of praise for being very original. Yeah, but in the case of this one, no, they didn't change it. Though, one thing I did notice though, what he does, he puts like opens the thing up and basically just closes it up and puts a battery into it and then closes it up. It reminds me a lot of what I saw in Dino Fury, because of course that's from a Soldier. That's coming in the future. Don't worry about that. That's not coming next series per se. What is coming next series, I'm not going to reveal that for, well, until I finish this one. Sorry about that. So, it's a very good set of episodes. I'd say the gold stuff is quite interesting, and I would say mostly in the case of episodes 8 through 10, it's very plot-driven, while 11 is mostly a mixture of plot and filler. Because I feel the Bone stuff was pretty much filler. But it was also say Corella. Like, she is an absolute fun character. She and Porcera are fun characters. I feel as though that the Sentai version is a little better than the one in Power Rangers, due to the fact she had a little more to do, instead of being just, oh, the main villain's fiance a lot of the series, and then they get married off screen. Oh yeah, and the name Sludge was not very intimidating. He had a very intimidating look. The guy was freaking badass, but his name, like, oh, you're like, oh, hi, my name is Sludge. And when I first heard that, I'm like, really? That's your name, Sludge? It seems like a very cheap name. At least Chaos is much more interesting here. At least it's appeared in 3 freaking episodes like it did in Dino Charge. But yeah, not much to say about these 4 episodes. They're pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do this like button. Next time we have is Case Closed. Because, why not? Okay, next video. Bye.